There's one other place where you do that move that I've seen you do it, and that's like around the 12th fret. I believe I've seen you do that.
Yeah.
Where
yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
One more time. Now, the neat thing is you can probably combine the patterns that you play around the 12th fret and the patterns you play around the 5th fret as well, right? You can slide those down chromatically and then do the same thing over the changes here.
Yeah.
And then move up.
The reason I do the one on the 5th fret different is because I know that I've got that extra open string that I can utilize, you know, and that's why I tend to put in a few more notes in that one. And that's why that one is a little more complicated, because I know I've got that extra string to play with.
Right.
You know.
Now that would make a perfect exercise for someone just wanting to get their feet wet, learning the banjo rolls and stuff, and learning to play over that kind of change. It's great.
Another little thing I add sometimes is like just adding.
That's great. And then you're just hammering on the high, in case of the first chord, the high G sharp with your pinky, right?
Yeah.
And then the G, you're just, right. So the shape remains constant, so you're just moving it down in half steps. Yeah. I've seen also you do something where you play the, you play like an E here, and then you go to the A here.
Oh yeah.
And then you play this D. Yeah. That's it. There's another riff that you played that I'd like you to maybe dissect for us. It kind of involves the same thing, that kind of open string roll / run, and that's what you do in the beginning of T-Bird to Vegas, and that intro. Yeah, that. If we can play that at half speed, you would make millions of people happy. That's great. So basically, you're doing that backwards roll idea again, where you're playing the, say, for the first part of the run, you're playing the D with the pick, and then the G with your middle finger, and then playing the D with the pick, the F with the middle finger, then the D with the pick again, and then backwards rolling the open E with your pinky, the F with your middle finger, and then the D with the pick again. That kind of. Right. So is that basically kind of the foundation of the pattern that you use throughout the whole intro?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. That's just a backward roll, the second part of it. Right.
It's tricky to play it slowly. Up to tempo. And
let's do the second.
Makes more sense.
Yeah, I know. Let's do the second part of that lick again. Let's do the second part of that lick. Okay, and then go on to the next part. That's the shape we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and there's just a roll there, right? Mm. And that's just so the first is just an F triad, right?
Yeah.
And then you're using the open G string there with the E and the A, okay? Whoa. Are you hammering the A from the E or from the G? From the open E to the A, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hadn't realized I was doing that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then you're playing the stopped B and the open D string, and then resolving to the G. Okay. So let's catch that whole intro now up to tempo.
Okay.
I guess we should talk about another facet in country guitar playing, which is bending. Maybe you could show us some common bends that you use when you're not using the B puller.
Okay, well, I mean, the basic things I learned in the 60s, I suppose,
Right.
were from James Burton,
Right.
you know, which were basic blues licks, but they work over country
Right.
tunes, you know, bending up to certain notes. Or,
Now that's like a real common country run. Maybe you could slow that down a little bit. So you're bending the B to the C sharp, and so you're hinting. You're actually playing. It's if you were playing an A triad. You're bending the second to the third.
yeah.
Right. I see you really pulling your thumb over the neck too. You do that for support, I guess, right? And there you're just bending the fourth to the fifth, the D to the E, right? That's another beautiful bend there.
That's kind of a steel lick
Yeah,
where I'm,
let's
where I'm
look at
bending
that.
one note is a whole step and another note a half step.
So you're actually, you're going from, so it's like going from D to G, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at that pretty closely there. So you're bending the D up to an E and the F sharp to a G. So you're kind of going to a G6 type sound, yeah. Yeah. I've also seen you bend from the seventh to the root when you're holding the third. Like say if you're an A, you'd be doing this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Let's look at that. You're bending. So you're holding the C sharp with your third finger and bending the G up to an A. and releasing, and then going to the E with your second finger. Oh, and then you're playing thirds. You're playing right. E flat G to D F sharp. Right. Right. So there we're getting an idea of say the way you combine all the elements to make your own style. Like you said, you don't ever hang on one thing too much. There, you bent up a little bit. You went back to the thirds, and then you ended on a little scale thing.
That has that kind of fanfare effect that Chuck Berry introduced. You know, that kind of thing. It's just taking it a little further, you know, with some bends in there, you know.
A common move in country, a common progression is the 1 to the 4 chord, the G to the C, for example, if we're in the key of G. And I know that in country, voice leading is very important. It doesn't sound good to jump from one position all the way up the neck to another position. A lot of people try to cop that pedal steel sound where you have a very smooth type of voice leading. Could you show us how you approach going from the 1 to the 4 chord?
If you're thinking chordally, I'd probably do it with a pull string.
Oh, really?
Or you can do it like this.
That's beautiful. There. So what we have is a G triad in the 7th position. You're playing the G with the pinky on the 5th string, the B with your 3rd finger on the 4th string, and the D with your 1st finger on the 3rd string. And then you're bending.
I'm bending the 3rd and 4th string. I bend the 3rd string a tone.
A whole step, right? So you're bending the D to the E.
Yeah, and I bend the B to a C.
And you're bending them both at the same time. So you're getting a G to C movement, and it sounds just like a pedal steel guitar.
Well,
kind of.
I used to do it a lot, but I don't. I tend not to do it so much now. I mean, I used to use on my old telly. I had lighter strings, and it was easier to get those kind of bends, you know.
Yeah.
But I sacrificed that for the sound I prefer on the slightly heavier gauge string. Right. So I tend not to do those kind of bends anymore, you know, because I've gotten so used to using a pull string to do those kind of bends, and there's more chance of getting them in tune, you know, because you can't always.
Yeah, that's.
You know, it's not always
quite beautiful. All right, let's see that there. What you just did.
Oh well, that's kind of a
great.
Basic steel lick.
Well,
you know,
great. we just saw this really neat tune called Sweet Little Lisa that you played, and you were using this guitar, and I believe it's equipped with a thing called a string bender, a pull bender?
String bender, pull string, B bender. It's got a number of names.
Yeah, okay, so maybe you could tell us a little bit about it, the history about it.
Well, yeah, I'll try. I mean, this particular idea was, I believe, was first put together by Gene Parsons and Clarence White.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the method of using the strap with a system of like a lever and a long spring, you know, and turning this little gadget here, which actually raises the second string.
So without playing the string, you can actually bend it up a whole step.
Yeah. And you adjust, there's a little hole here, and you can stick an Allen wrench through there and adjust the stop point of that. Or like the Gene Parsons one, there's a little knurled knob there you can turn, and you know, a number of ways you can do it. There are a number of them on the market now, you know.
Yeah.
But I started out using this particular type, you know, with the strap button here, and it feels comfortable, you know. So I've stuck with it. You know, there are others, you know, like palm pedals, you know, like a Bigsby kind of contraption, which does the same thing, and like hip shot, which is like a lever that comes out of the back of the guitar, and you pull against it like that, you know. And they all work fine, you know. But
and they all work on the B string, right?
Yeah, that seems to be the most usable.
And that's to get the sound of a pedal steel, the authentic
just to
pedal
imitate
steel.
the pedal steel, you know.
Didn't Carl Perkins have something like that too?
Yeah, well, that's the first time I ever saw that idea used. You know, I saw Carl in the early '60s, and he had I think it was like a Gibson ES5 3 pickup.
Right.
Gibson, you know, and he had a little bent piece of wire, you know, with sticky tape on it, and I think maybe there was a spring under it, or maybe it was just the tension of the spring. But he could actually press his thumb against it and raise he used to, you know, raise the second string a tone, you know. But he was doing it with his thumb,
right,
and of course he was limited to that positioning with his hand.
So if he had to go
know.
up to D, he couldn't hit it, right? That's great.
So, but I mean, he was on the right track there, you know. I don't know if he'd gotten the idea from someone else or not, but it was a neat idea, you know, for getting those country licks. You know?
Yeah. There's a lot of guitar players that really try to mimic the sound of a pedal steel conventionally.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I used to do it, you know, or try to do it, you know. But once you get into using one of these things, you know, it
just a lot cleaner.
Yeah, and you know, you know it's going to be in tune every time. You know, if you were trying to, you know, you can guarantee you're going to bend it right each time, you know. But it's a lot of fun. And of course, when you first get it, you're trying to, you know, everything you do, you want to utilize it, you know. And I've seen a lot of people do that, you know. I've seen Jimmy Page using his, you know. This is a long time ago when he first got it, and it was...
Really, he had one too, huh?
Oh, yeah, he has a couple, yeah. Dave Evans has one too.
You know, now that you mention it, I remember him doing a pedal steel type effect on one Led Zeppelin tune,
Well, I don't know if he had it back then. Or maybe he did.
Was it? Maybe he was actually playing pedal
Yeah.
steel then, but it was...
you know, we listened to the same guys when we were growing up, you know, so I'm sure he was... even though one wouldn't think of him as a country player, I'm sure he was listening to those country players like I did, you know.
Yeah. I was wondering if we did this one bend earlier, this one little lick earlier, and maybe you can compare the sound of it with a conventional bend. I think we did this kind of thing, where we cut the 7 and see how much cleaner.
Yeah, I love to do that with a pull string, because you can forget about the left hand fingering and concentrate on the sound of it, really, and getting the staccato effect. And you know, you can really do that.
And that's kind of stuff you do all over Sweet Little Lisa too. You just do a lot of that.
You can do that slinky bend, and it can, you know, it's in tune. You can do it as fast and slow as you want.
great.
Yeah, it's a neat effect, you know.
And you use it in a really neat way too, because actually you played a ballad using the bender, and the lyrical way you use it, it was beautiful. It sounded like a pedal steel.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I try to use it like that, you know. I mean, I started out trying to copy a pedal steel, and you know, there's no way that you can really duplicate it.
Yeah.
Although Phil Bohr, I don't know if you've heard of a player called Phil Bohr.
No.
I mean, he's no longer with us, unfortunately.
Oh.
He was a great player. You know, I first heard him playing a telly, you know, but at one time he had like a Les Paul with 6 cables coming out to 6 pedals on the floor.
Really?
And he could just do amazing things with the guitar. You know, it just sounded like a steel.
Is he on any records or anything? Or?
Oh yeah, he did a few. Yeah.
Are they still in print? Would you know? Because
I'm sure you can find them.
Yeah.
But
Phil Ball, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Baugh. I mean, he was a monstrous player, one
Wow.
of my favourites, you know.
Yeah.
But he took it to its, you know, farthest
To
point.
the limit.
really, yeah. And that was too far for me. You know, I mean, there are other gadgets you can get to, you know, to bend other strings, but that I think just the second string is enough for me.
Yeah.
Because I like to not to get too distracted from all the other things I do, you know. So it's just nice to, you know, do that now and again. But if I had more gadgets on there, you know,
Right.
it would be too distracting.
Right,
You know,
sure.
this can be distracting enough. You know.
How about the Chuck Berry tune? Chuck Berry tune.
Oh yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
a nice effect because
Okay.
you can get that Memphis, Tennessee lick,
I
you
figured
know,
we could do something like that.
and you can sound really in tune, you know.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, that kind of chime effects. You
That's
know, it really,
really cool.
Works well, I think.
Yeah, I also noticed like you would say like hold an E9 chord, and then bend the B pen. Yeah, or bend the like on the 7th fret. Yeah, or when you hold it down here on the 7th fret, right here. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, no, and you also like, yeah, where you would bar the chord and then bend into the 3rd is like a real cool thing.
Yeah, well, you have to think flat all the time on the
Yeah.
2nd string, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, you know, you can get carried away with it.
we just saw you play this tune where you use this really neat kind of guitar, whatever that is. Can you tell us what it is?
Well, it's an Ernie Ball Music Man 6-string bass.
It's a bass?
Yeah.
Whoa. And I guess it uses bass strings, regular bass strings?
Yeah, well, it's an octave below a guitar, so it's guitar tuning.
Guitar tuning,
just
yeah.
An octave below. I guess the 4 bottom strings are light gauge bass strings, really,
right.
you know, until you get up to the top here, and this is probably like, you know, the bottom strings of a guitar. You know?
Yeah, oh. Anybody else that used one of these
Well, they've
things?
been around for a while, since the 50s, I guess, maybe longer. I was first aware of them through Dwayne Eddy.
Oh, Dwayne Eddy used them.
Yeah, he used on
Yeah.
a few of his albums, you know. But people have used them over the years, you know. I think Jack Bruce used one,
Really?
a Fender one with Cream, played bass on it. You know.
Great, great.
Uh,
So how about a little riff on that thing there?
yeah, well. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Albert, I really want to thank you for taking your time to shed some light on a really confusing topic for a lot of guitar players, and
Well, I hope I helped.
I think you really have, and I think it's only fitting to end this tape on another tune. What do you say you go and play something with the band?
Sure, I'd love
Okay,
to,
great.
yeah. And thanks for watching, folks, and I hope you'll continue to watch.
Yeah.
Thank you.